well as the concrete.
as well as the understructure,
Yeah, right.
whatever.
Well, no, the understructure was in this bid. This 15,000 included the wood
Yeah, the board
framing,
was-
but
sure.
not the cement pad too.
But the 36,000 would also include a new understructure.
Made of wood.
Wood
Made of wood.
that has to be set on concrete.
So we could probably add 15,000 to the 36.
And that would get you the one at the softball field. You'd have to add at least another 15,000 for one to start finishing, if that's the system you want. So if you do those things, you got 15 and 15, let's say it's 30, you're gonna have 66,000. What was option, the new option? 57,000. I mean, to me, you're gonna have old bleachers sitting someplace, new bleachers sitting someplace, it's just which one you decide to put where. Unless you're going back to the idea of just having it all at the original spot, which I'm not in favor of. I think there should be something at start finish line, I think there should be something at the softball field.
Well, there you and I disagree, and I respect your particular position, but when I call all these schools and they tell me about what they have for all their tracks, and they all say the same thing. They're all having the same problem of economics, the way to build a track, and that's the way they're built. And if you want to put something down there at the finish line, that's fine, but that's the way things are in every school, even over early. I noticed that was the same way as over there.
What? I don't know what you're saying.
When you build a track,
Early's track's different than ours.
well, the finish line isn't exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to get across is that all the tracks are, are based on where the 100-yard line dash, the 100-yard line finish, and the 100-yard line begin. So if you take 100 yard from the ending, you have to extend that out straight. And if you extend that out straight, then it costs to go out straight from the particular finish line that you have near the end of the put out into the track. Now, if you want to have your finish line in the middle, that means that you have to extend your 100-yard dash way out farther, and you have to spend the money originally for 2 events, for 5 hurdles.
I don't understand what you're saying, though. The track's not getting changed. The finish line's in the same spot.
That's right, and all the tracks everywhere are exactly the same.
No, they're not.
You name one that's not.
Ida Grove's is different than Early's, which is
I-
different than ours.
I beg to disagree. I've talked to the athletic director.
I've been to them.
Then you can talk to the athletic director. I've
There's
talked-
100 meters here to 100 meters here. Early has their finish in the middle at the 50-yard line for everything but the 100 and the 110. Everybody else's finish is at the end of the 100.
Everybody, here, let me diagram this. You have your round like this, and your finish line is about here in most of the tracks.
Correct?
That's because they have the beginning right back here, and they have the 100 yards from there to there. So the cost. And I've talked to athletic director after.
We don't have a straightaway at the end of ours when they start. They start down here on the curve.
On the 100-yard down, they have to start back here. They can't start because they don't start on the curve.
I know they don't. They
But
start.
I've
They start right here. I guess I don't, not doubt you talk to people, Dave, but most people start right there and end right there. There's no straightaway. Ida Groves has a straightaway
I'll
right
bet
here.
you, Pep, you're wrong.
That people don't start at the 100 and end at the
No,
100.
that we start back here, before the curve. I'll take you out there, that's a big thing.
Well, I guess my point would be, if
Doesn't
we're not
matter
gonna,
where they
if we're not gonna move our start finish line, I'd like to have some
It has-
bleachers at the start finish line.
So would I. I'd like to have 30 feet at the start, or the finish line,
Yeah.
But
not the start line.
But all the athletic directors say that it's economically not feasible to put in a track because you have to extend this back farther, and it's the cost effective not to do that.
We're not building
We're talking
new
about
tracks.
bleachers. I know
They're
that.
talking about
I know that's what I'm
bleachers.
talking about. I'm talking about where it started and why it finishes where it is. So that's why they put the bleachers and everything the way it is, because that's...
Have you been to Kingsley's?
No, I haven't been to Kingston. I had no idea.
They got 30 feet over here, built into a hillside, which is the best high school complex I've ever seen.
Well, I can tell you what all the schools have and everything like that, and I've been in track, and so I understand that.
Well, I guess the issue is we aren't going to move our finish line, right?
The finish line.
So I guess our question is do we want to put something for people to sit at the finish line or not sit at the finish line?
I do. I would like something down there.
I think that's the issue, isn't it?
And I think our AD and our track coaches have said the very same thing. I guess why would we go against their recommendation? I have no reason to. We're not eliminating bleachers where they're at now, we're simply adding some to the finish line.
Well, we may be eliminating.
Maybe eliminate some,
Shortening them up a little.
but if the way I look at it, if there ever comes a time where we need more bleachers, we can sure as hell put more there where they were now.
That would be a nice problem to have.
That'd be a great problem to have. I think we've talked about this for 3 months. In my opinion, there's other pressing stuff we need to do. So I think we need to make a decision here. There's a difference of opinion, fine. But, it seems like we've heard it from everyone. Everybody's got an opinion on it, which is fine, but we need to make a decision and move on. I think there's other pressing things we can do.
Well, let me ask you this. For $36,000, could we leave 70 feet where they're at, move 30 feet down the line, and that with new risers, wood frame risers for $36,000? Is that
Probably
right?
wouldn't be because you're going to end up having 2 sets of side rails and things like that.
A few extra bucks, not a lot.
Well, that's a big expense, the side rails and the back rails. I don't know how much, but it is.
Okay,
You have to have 2 more sets
so,
of steps and stuff like that, so it isn't just 36 grand to do that.
okay, so option number 1 then, everything brand new, 65,000, is 100 feet. Is that 100 feet all in one location?
Yes.
That would be taking out what's there right now, Doug, and just putting absolutely another set of 100 feet back in place of it. And you'd have to add 15,000 to that for a pad.
I'm for option 2 of the initial proposal, if we want to add to the softball diamond, that's what we're trying to do.
Put a wood structure under. In 30 years, we're going to go down and do this again, or 20 years, or whatever it was. And as Mr. Stone said, he said we can build the thing so that it'll last as long as anybody lives in this particular building. Before the board meeting.
On the stone estimate, I'm assuming because it's on a job estimate sheet, that it truly is an estimate, that we have to get an absolute, we need an absolute cost from him.
I would agree. I guess when I look at talking about option 2 and then doing the 15, that ends up being, what, 57,000, which is what option 5, in my opinion, would be a better deal.
Which was fine. The new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that one. But I think we need 70 at the 50, and 30 feet at the finish line. And
Well-
option 5 is the new one.
I am. I'll make a motion. I move for option 5 on Rising Inc. additional quote. Putting 5 at the side of the old bleachers and capitalizing 2 sets apiece for the start and finish line.